2:18 to go. Tied at 44. Here we go, folks. Shea, double team. Jump ball, possession. It's going to the Cardinals. 2 crucial turnovers by the Lakers. Houseman to Joerger. Joerger again. Joerger inside. Needus adjusts the shot. Won't go. Loose ball. Here comes Erickson. Erickson all the way.
His first points of the ball game, and they stopped the bleeding for the Lakers.
Seconds. Lakers by 2. Cardinals with a ball and a timeout. Two pressure-packed games here tonight.
Here's the last play. You remember the huddle. Peterson said, get it inside to Needus. They do. He misses the shot. The ball is loose. It's touched by about 3, 4, 5 different players. It comes loose to James Erickson, the little point guard, who takes it in with the left hand and scores his first 2 points of the ball game. It stopped an 8-0 run by Staples.
Try and get this wing up on you, okay? Look to go back to David. David might have the shot or look to going to Jeff. Lane's over here. Okay? Lane, you start looking for the weak side more. Okay, now if it doesn't go, don't force it, then let's just come out and run 4-1. Okay? Now, if they get the ball back, we don't score, we got to get on them tough. If I give fifth, that means we got to force back door cut and take it away. Cover up. Affirmate shot, live. 21. Go. 21.
No team has led by more than 6 points since there was 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter. It's been that close. Here we go, the final 90 seconds. Staples with the ball, they trail by 2. This is Sheeklin. Outside to Houseman. Sheeklin with the penetration. Joerger for 3. Joerger, he's a prime-time player.
His third 3 of the game. Joerger is the money man for Staples.
This is Larson. The Lakers trail by 1. There you see the time. Oh, what an incredible finish. Both games tonight to the wire. Roop in trouble. This is Shea in trouble. To Roop inside. Nice pass. Lakers by 1.
It looked like chaos for a while, but it turned out okay for Minnewaska.
33 seconds remaining. Timeout Cardinals. They've got the ball and they trail by 1. This is a prime-time shot. The Joerger 3 like it had eyes.
Look at the head fake. And the shot, nothing but net. His third 3 of the night.
There's a couple of all-stars out here tonight, Dana. Brian Waltz and Stacy Anderson. They've had the camera on their shoulder for 4 hours, bringing you the action at courtside. And what a job they've done. What a job these teams have done tonight. Pelican and Breckenridge, Staples and Minnewaska. Now Shea was in big-time trouble, and this is really a gamble-type pass.
Great position by Roop, right in the lane, and the easy gimme inside. It looked bad, but it turned out beautiful for the Lakers.
Shea's possession had turnover written all over it, and he got out of it.
He was an unguided missile.
All right, there you see the story. The Lakers from Minnewaska lead by 1. Staples has the ball. Possession to the Lakers if they get tied up. This is what life is all about. Joerger gets a pick in traffic. Shequin. Rebound. Big board by Roop. They got a foul, and they do.
The Lakers can taste it now. Biggest rebound of the night by number 54, Jason Roop. Joerger with the create in the lane. He dishes it to Shequin on the baseline. The jumper is in, and it bounces out. And Roop is right there with a strong rebound.
Timeout Staples with 14 seconds remaining. The Lakers are going to the free throw line with a 1-point lead. Dana, you know, you can second guess this thing all you want. Joerger, who has been so hot from the outside, he takes it to the lane and does the dish. Why not dish to him?
Simply because the ball was in his hands. He had to create something. Nothing in the lane, so he dished it outside.
Okay, just like this. Okay, so we got David, Blaine, Trevor, Kevin, Jeff. Okay, David come down the court. Blaine set the screen, or Jeff set the screen. Okay, on this guy. David gets around it. Okay, Jeff rolls. If we only need 2, you can go to Jeff. If not, you look for 3 here. Blaine drops on a penetration right here. Or go to Trevor here or Kevin here. Whoever gets it, especially if we need 3, you got to put it up because we won't get a better shot than that. But get the rebound down here first. Yep, get the rebound. He's got to make them both.
It was a year ago that the Staples Cardinals had a shot rim out as Long Prairie went to the state tournament. 14 seconds remaining. The Lakers by 1. Shea at the line. Oh! Shea fouled again.
3 seconds ticked off the clock. 3 precious seconds if you're a Staples fan. You can see Shea's reaction, disappointed, but now he has a chance to make up for it.
He does. A 2-point game. Here we go. 11 seconds. Staples can win it with a 3. Oh my goodness, it's a repeat of last Friday night. Joerger. Joerger. Air ball. Lakers win. Minnewaska Lakers have earned themselves another trip back to the primetime lights tomorrow night. Our coverage starts at 8 o'clock. Pelican Rapids and Minnewaska. This is the last shot for the win for Staples. The freshman couldn't make it go. Hooper, the big rebound. And the disappointment in the Cardinal camp. Another incredible show. The little freshman, Blaine Joerger, with a chance to win it.
Number one, baby.
It fell short. Greg Starnes, in his 21st year, now has his team one game away from the state Class A basketball tournament in Minnesota.
Way to show up. You wanted to play one. You wanted to play this one.
Ryan Shea, what a night this kid had. A big assist down the stretch. Let's go to Dana Mock. He's with Lynn Peterson of the Staples Cardinals.
Coach, not an easy game to lose, is it?
No, it isn't. You know, our kids played hard. We didn't do some things well, but, you know, I can't fault their effort. We had a great year.
What do you think told the story down the second half anyway?
You don't want me to tell you what told the story. They beat us by 2, but the thing that hurt, you know, I mean, we got Nidus on the bench with 4 fouls, and he only had 3. You know, when you lose your 17-point score, and I'm not crying sour grapes, that shouldn't happen in a region game.
Still, you had a shot at the buzzer again.
Well, we had the shot to win it, you know, but, you know, I guess it wasn't a bad shot, but we got a freshman taking the shot, and, you know, he rushed it a little bit, but, you know, that's part of being a freshman, too.
You knew they were going to come out on David Joerger.
Yeah, we did, and so that's why we tried to use him kind of as a decoy, set a screen for him, hopefully somebody pick him up and leave somebody else open.
Lynn, you and your team a class act. Congratulations on a great year.
Lynn Peterson and the Staples Cardinals. They come up just 2 points short. It has been an incredible night of Minnesota high school basketball on WDAY. In overtime, the Pelican Rapids Vikings advance to tomorrow night's coverage. And here, the Minnewaska Lakers slip past Staples 49-47. Stay tuned for Newscenter 6. This has been a presentation of WDAY Television Sports. Undoubtedly the sports leader in the Red River Valley. And we'll be back tomorrow night with the Section 6A championship game at 8 o'clock. Until then, so long, everybody.
Wallwork Ford has over 500 new and used cars, trucks, and vans. And our goal is to set a record in March with low prices and payments like this. New 92 Tempo or Ranger XLT pickup loaded, just $79.95 or $133 a month for first-time buyers. Choose from 30 Tempos and Rangers for just $79.95 or $133 a month. You'll find financing as low as 2.9 APR for 48 months. Rebates to $2,000 at North Dakota's largest Ford dealer, Wallwork Ford, Main Avenue at I-29 in Fargo.
Many people ask me, what do your customers tell you most about Happy Harry's? That's really a simple answer. They tell me about the people that work at Happy Harry's. Our staff is the most knowledgeable, friendly staff you'll find anywhere. And it shows. That's why more people shop with us.
Happy Harry's, in touch with the taste of the valley.
Happy Harry's, Grand Forks and Fargo. Please use our products in moderation.
They're here. The all-new vans from Ford. Redesigned, refined, America's best-selling vans for 20 years just got better. With new looks, larger interiors, even airbags. They're all redesigned. Commercial vans, conversion vans, and Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, Ford Club Wagon. Plus, for a limited time, you may qualify for up to $2,000 cash back on a new Ford van. They're here. The all-new vans from Ford. Hurry to your local Ford dealer now.
President Bush is taking aim at the deficit. He is going to withhold billions of dollars for more than 100 programs. We'll have that report.
I'm Tracy Briggs. Paul Tsongas calls it quits.
I'm Robin Amon, and we'll introduce you to a special group of volunteers at St. Ansgar Hospital who are making things a little brighter for some children in our area.
John is talking about snow and warmer weather. He'll sort it out for us. In sports, the 64-team field got smaller tonight. Newscenter 6 is next.
Live from your news leader, WDAY. Marv Bossert, John Wheeler, and Ed Schultz. This is WDAY News Center 6.
Good evening, everyone. President Bush is going on the offensive. He is planning a speech tomorrow to announce he's withholding billions of dollars for more than 100 programs. White House spokesman Marlin Fitzwater says it's part of a drive to reduce the deficit. Fitzwater says everything from obsolete and ludicrous projects like research on far-out programs to traditional public works projects will feel the pinch. The president is also expected to blast the democratically controlled Congress for failing to act on his programs. Meantime, the race for the White House is now between George Bush and Bill Clinton. That word today from several Democratic Party officials after hearing Paul Tsongas is calling it quits. Tsongas is pulling out of the race for the Democratic nomination because of a lack of money. As Tracy Briggs reports tonight, Tsongas says his campaign was not a total loss.
Paul Tsongas says it all comes down to money. The campaign he started a year ago has simply run short. He is now $1 million in debt going into the New York primary.
It was clear that we did not have the resources necessary to fight the media war in New York. We simply did not have the resources. I would have been defined by others and have been unable to defend myself. Worse, my message would have been wounded.
Tsongas says his message includes a redefinition of the Democratic Party, forcing it to combine economic growth with social compassion. He says while the campaign may not have been successful, his ideas are catching on. But Democratic National Committeeman Dan Hanaher says Tsongas' campaign may have failed because he had trouble getting his message across, making it even more difficult to take on Bill Clinton.
They both have very good messages and messages that are not that far from each other. I think Governor Clinton, however, is a little broader based. Senator Tsongas was very economically oriented in his search for solutions to the problems of the country. I just don't think the economic package alone was enough to sell a candidacy of Senator Tsongas.
Hanaher says Jerry Brown will stay in the race as the active and angry voice of the party. But he says Brown won't get a lot of Tsongas' supporters. As for Tsongas, he says he's not ready to endorse either Brown or Clinton.
The alternative was to play the role of spoiler. That is not what I'm about. That is not worthy. I did not survive my ordeals in order to be the agent of the re-election of George Bush.
Tsongas says he congratulates Brown and Clinton, and he says he's not ruling out accepting the vice presidential nomination if he's asked. Tracy Briggs, WDAY News Center 6.
Bill Clinton is reportedly surprised by Tsongas' announcement. Jerry Brown is saying he and Clinton are now battling for the party's soul. The House postmaster today became the second congressional official to resign in less than a week. Robert Rota reportedly allowed House members to cash personal checks at the House post office, which is forbidden by law. Meantime, North Dakota Congressman Byron Dorgan is apologizing for his part in the House check-writing controversy. Dorgan today revealing he had 96 overdrafts totaling more than $22,000 during a 39-month period. Dorgan thought he had only 4 bad checks totaling $445. Dan Anderson reports.
I should have been more responsible. I was careless. And for that, I deeply regret it, and I think I've let some people down. But, you know, what you do in these situations is be honest about it.
It is Byron Dorgan's biggest political nightmare, and rather than making excuses, he is accepting full responsibility. The Price Waterhouse analysis of Dorgan's House bank account finds 96 overdraft checks with a face value of more than $22,000. The average NSF check was held by the bank for 4.7 days. 4 checks were listed as overdraft, even though Dorgan had enough money in the account to cover them. 20 were listed as overdraft because the House bank had not yet posted deposits Dorgan made. Records for 1 month could not be found and were not included. The CPAs did not look to see if there were any overdrafts prior to July of 1988. And Dorgan released a typical monthly statement to show the house bank gave no notice or indication when the account was overdrawn.
You can't find people who are perfect to serve in public office because there's nobody that's perfect. But you know, I've tried to be pretty diligent about a lot of things. In this case, I was not very careful. And in public life, when you make a mistake, if you're not willing to stand up and say, this is mine, I'm not going to make excuses for it, this is my screw-up, my mistake, I apologize for it, it's not going to happen again, I deeply regret it, I'm embarrassed by it. If you're not willing to do that, it seems to me you can't move forward.
Dorgan is refusing to speculate on his political future.
My hope is that North Dakotans will see me in terms of what I've been and done over the years. I've always tried to be straight and honest and work hard and fight for the right things. And in this case, I and a lot of others here made some mistakes.
Dorgan says he will be back in North Dakota Monday to talk with people about all of this. In the meantime, he says he has written a check to the federal government for $1,080 to cover the charges the private bank would have made for these 96 overdrafts. Dan Anderson, WDAY News Center 6.
If you live in North Dakota, it appears you will be voting on the abortion issue in November. As Jim Shaw reports tonight, a group called the Drug Abortion Mandate is preparing an initiated measure that would allow abortions only in cases of rape, incest, or to save the life of the mother.
I think we have a fundamentally sound chance of winning because I think people in North Dakota are conservative.
Ray O'Hara of Bismarck is one of the leaders behind the initiated measure. Calling abortion an issue that deals with the very heart of moral values, O'Hara concedes that putting the matter on the ballot is a gamble.
It doesn't really stand much of a chance of passing in North Dakota. For us, it will be a pain.
Lynn Gifford, president of the North Dakota Abortion Rights Action League, acknowledges that O'Hara's group should have no trouble getting enough signatures to get the matter on the ballot.
Oh, we're absolutely taking it deadly seriously. But it's one more problem in what's going to prove to be a very difficult electoral year.
We've learned there is sharp division in the anti-abortion community over putting the issue on the ballot. Many activists fear that if they lose, their chances of getting similar legislation passed in Bismarck will be severely damaged for several years to come. Jim Shaw, WDAY, News Center 6.
A Fargo woman has pled guilty to 2 forgery charges, criminal trespass and theft. Assistant Cass County State's Attorney Connie Stephen Cleveland, that is, says 19-year-old Nicole Hagan was charged with stealing blank checks from her landlord, writing them out for $12,000, then depositing the money in her own account. Cleveland says Hagan was arrested December 13th after returning from a trip to the Bahamas. Maximum penalty for the offense is a total of 25 years in prison. District Judge Michael McGuire ordered a pre-sentence investigation. 2 Jamestown residents have been indicted on drug charges. 36-year-old Gregory Curtis, 23-year-old Teresa Griffith are charged with possession with intent to distribute about 20 pounds of marijuana. A scare today when fire broke out in the atrium roof of the Dakota Clinic in Fargo. The fire started about noon when a defective fluorescent light overheated. Smoke filled the 6th and 7th floors, forcing dozens of employees and patients to be evacuated. There were no injuries, and firefighters had the fire out quickly. This is the 2nd fire in the atrium roof in about a year. In just a moment, we'll introduce you to some folks who really know how to cheer a person up. Robin Amond will have that report after this message.
Mitchell's TV and Video is the area's largest independent Zenith dealer for stereo digital television with World Teletext, VHS VCRs, and the latest in Zenith camcorders. Plus, there's Zenith distributor authorized service in your home or in the shop. Free local delivery and free basic installation. Choose Zenith, the only American-owned television manufacturer. From Mitchell's, Fargo's oldest exclusive TV and video store, downtown Fargo.
Your Quality Buick dealer believes the best form of advertising is word of mouth. So let's find out what our friends who own Buicks are saying about them.
I take a lot of pride in my work. Buick thinks the same way. You know, quality, pride. That's why I bought a Buick Regal. Sure, I work hard, but sometimes I like to go out and paint the town.
Buick stands for quality, just ask a friend.
See your nearest Quality Buick dealer today.
If you own a Ford truck, we have some recall information for you tonight. Ford is recalling more than 500,000 trucks because front brakes can fail in certain driving conditions. The trucks involved are 1988 to 1991 model F-250s and F-350 trucks with various engine options. A Ford spokesman said about 500 complaints and 40 accidents have been reported because of the condition, resulting in 16 minor injuries. Ford is going to mail letters to vehicle owners when parts needed to fix the problem are made. If you haven't filed your income taxes in North Dakota yet, now is a perfect time. Tax officials have received 80,000 fewer returns from North Dakotans so far this year, and they say the slowdown means you can get your refund back faster. If you're having problems with your taxes, help is available without costing you anything.
See as math errors. It's amazing. We all think, you know, you're doing numbers fast and you've got the calculator probably off to the side and you're anxious to get it over with and just file it, and you forget to verify the math.
If you have any questions about your tax return or about the change in the amount being withheld from your check, you can call the North Dakota Tax Office toll-free. Now a story about a special group of volunteers in Moorhead. About 15 women get together every month to work on a project for children staying at St. John's Hospital. As Robin Amernew tells us tonight, the organizer of the group is very dedicated to the cause.
This is a sewing group at St. Ansgar Hospital. One Thursday a month, they get together to talk a little, laugh, and make dolls. Colorful little toys go to sick children at St. John's Hospital.
Not bad getting empty? Oh, yes.
The woman they consider the leader of this group is Rose Johnson. At 84, she's logged almost 20 years of volunteer service. She still helps file once a week at St. John's, but this sewing group is what keeps her going.
It's fun. We enjoy it. That's why we come. Otherwise, I don't think we'd keep it up. Yeah, we always have a good time. You see how they're laughing and having a good time. I like it because I like to keep busy. I don't like to sit around and think of myself and think of my aches and pains and nothing to do. So I like to be kept busy all day long. I just can't sit and do nothing.
Besides this work, Rose makes about 100 stuffed dogs at her home every month, and once a week she delivers the toys to St. John's.
Well, I feel I'm making the children happy. Gives me, I like to do that. Well, I don't know how long we'll keep it up, but it'll be for a while. So.
Rose will turn 85 on Sunday, and she has no plans to slow down. She and these other women are true inspirations, and they are definitely making a difference. Robin Amernew, WDAY News Center 6.
All of the material and yarn the women use is donated, so if you have any extra around, you can contact the volunteer office at St. Ansgar Hospital. Some local students have really jumped their way into our hearts. Students at the Glendon Felton School have raised more than $5,000 the Clay County American Heart Association with their Jump Rope for Heart fundraiser. And these beautiful daffodils can mean only one thing. It's time for the American Cancer Society's annual fundraiser. The daffodils are a symbol of hope in the fight against cancer, and you can make a donation and get one of these colorful flowers Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in the Fargo-Moorhead area. Volunteers will be selling them in area colleges, schools, stores, banks, and malls. The suggested donation is 50 cents a bloom or $4 for a bouquet of 10 daffodils. They are beautiful, and it's for a great cause, John. It'll be a while yet before we see those growing out of the ground.
I have tulip spikes
Do you
about
really?
that big, and my neighbors are up about that big, and they have a sunny south side location.
That's a good sign.
Can't be too far away if we
All
just
right.
keep from freezing them.
Okay.
Just warm up. Weather's nice.
All right.
'92 Mercury Sable with a restyled body, redesigned interior, and safety features unmatched by any other manufacturer in its class. Available dual airbags and optional anti-lock brakes. So think smart. Think safe. Think Sable. And think savings now at your Lincoln Mercury dealer.
McDonald's introduces the return of the Wild West.
May I take your order?
Yes, ma'am. I reckon you can. For a limited time, rustle up a saucy, sassy McRib. Or a Western omelet McMuffin for breakfast with peppers, onions, and ham. Or try a satisfying 99-cent chicken fajitas or 99-cent breakfast burrito.
Howdy, boys.
What you want is what you get.
Mind if I join you?
At McDonald's today.
Dodge Caravan, with available features like anti-lock brakes, a V6, and built-in child safety seats, no wonder it's America's favorite minivan. Now, 500 cash back means a price starting as low as $13,001, making Caravan the obvious choice during the Dodge Dare to Compare Challenge. See your nearest Dodge dealer today and compare.
Good evening. Sometimes all you need is the satellite picture to give you the complete weather picture, the weather forecast of what's going on. We right now are basically in the middle of a battleground between a cold air mass pushing down from the Hudson Bay region. You can see it by this sort of this demarcation line, this line of clouds and clear right in through this region, a big oval of clear skies that has been pushing southward today. The other active member of this battle is this upper-level disturbance, an area of low pressure moving out of northern Alberta, sliding down into portions of Montana tonight, and this is going to be moving into the northern plains over the next couple of days. It's a low-pressure area with a lot of circulation. This is a lot of cold air, and the result is somewhere in the middle of all this, there's likely to be some measurable snowfall. Let's take another look at it, this time from the perspective of the temperatures and the pressures. High pressure here in northern Manitoba, the Hudson Bay region. In fact, over here on the eastern side of Hudson Bay, it is just brutally cold, with temperatures around 20 below at 8 o'clock this evening. 9 below right now up there at Churchill, Manitoba. And the cold readings are getting down into southern Manitoba as well. At 8 o'clock, Fargo was still at 33. But back to our west, 48 now at Miles City. And this area of low pressure will take the warm air, pump it over on top of the cold, and somewhere in this region, likely to start seeing snow breaking out a little bit later on tonight or early tomorrow. Now let's check our snow situation. Let's look at the National Weather Service radar. We earlier tonight did have a little bit of snow shower activity move across the region. Most of it was light. A few isolated areas did pick up some brief reduced visibilities, but all of that has now moved on down into South Dakota and Minnesota. Doesn't look like we'll have any more of those snow showers tonight. Here at Fargo-Moorhead today, the high 46 degrees, 25 degrees this morning. Just a trace of moisture out of the light rain and snow showers that moved through. Castleton's high 49. The rest of the area highs in the 40s and lows in the 20s. At Sisseton, 51. Cavalier, North Dakota, the last bastion of winter in the United States outside of Alaska. They still have 5 inches of snow on the ground in Cavalier. 33 degrees their high today. 35 at Grafton, Drayton 34. Grand Forks 43. Jamestown hit 48 today. Bismarck the big 50. And the rest of the reports, Minnesota, Crookston 37, Detroit Lakes 41, and 43 today in Fergus Falls. On the national satellite, that little cold front has pushed southward now through the area. Those showers that were occurring were basically right along that front. And now we're into the cooler, drier air mass associated with the high pressure up north. This low will move to the southeast, wrap the warm and somewhat moist air up over the cold. However, it looks like the colder air will be strong enough and well enough in place that the precipitation will be from western North Dakota and then slide southeast like that. Perhaps Sisseton, maybe in the Aberdeen areas, perhaps Jamestown may pick up some light snow by tomorrow night. I think the Fargo area and the rest of our region will be missing most of that. Forecast in detail right after this.
You know, a new baby would be a shock to anyone's system, but twins? The first thing my wife said was, "Honey, did the car shrink?"
In the real world, you need the real advantages of a 92 Voyager from your Chrysler Plymouth dealer. You'll get air, automatic, and more for under $14,300. And new for 92, optional built-in child seats. Safety, versatility, value. Real advantages for the real world. Now get $500 cash back at your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer today.
And it's currently 29 Fargo-Moorhead, 30 in Jamestown, but up at Grand Forks where the clear skies are working down, they have 24, so it looks like we'll cool off quite a bit tonight. South of the front, Aberdeen's still at 40. In Minnesota, 32 at Fergus Falls, Detroit Lakes 28, and it's 22 up at Thief River Falls right now. Here at Fargo-Moorhead, 29, dew point 19. Barometer is rising at 30.11. Winds out of the north and kind of brisk at 16, gusting to 23. Snow showers in the extreme south should be ending, and gradually we'll find clearing skies tonight. Winds will become light and northerly as the night goes on, and it looks like we're going to drop down to about 20, maybe even 19 at Fargo-Moorhead. Tomorrow, sunshine in the morning with afternoon cloudiness, especially late in the day. Northeast winds 5 to 15, and if you're headed west on Interstate 94, you will encounter snow, especially west of Bismarck. High temperatures in our area tomorrow will be in the lower 30s. For tomorrow night, look for partly to mostly cloudy skies with light snow primarily South Dakota, maybe up to Montpelier, south of Jamestown. The rest of the area should escape the snow. And then on Saturday, cloudy with flurries again in the southern sections, but from I-94 northward, looks like some sunshine. Highs on Saturday will be around 30, warming up gradually, 40s by Monday and Tuesday, and I think next week we've got a running shot at 50 again, where we haven't been since the first day of March.
Great.
Well, John, if Edward has come down from wherever he was there.
Those are two good games.
They really were. He's going to be reporting live from the Concordia Fieldhouse in just a moment.
Somewhere, someone's counting on you. What can you do? What can you do? What can you do? What can one person do?
It's happening every day. Somewhere in America, a factory is working overtime to meet its demand. A worker is hired. A family is fed and clothed and sheltered and educated and loved. It all happens because somewhere in America, a choice is made every day. The choice to buy American. At Walmart, we buy American whenever we can. So you can too. Because somewhere, someone's counting on it.
What can you do to bring it home to the USA?
All new aerodynamic design, standard anti-lock brakes, and a sticker price under $12,000. It's no surprise the all-new 1992 Pontiac Grand Am was chosen a best buy by the editors of Consumer's Digest. If you've got an eye for styling, a thirst for driving excitement, and an instinct for automotive value, test drive the new 92 Grand Am. For your best buy on a new Grand Am, see your North Country Pontiac dealers.
As we said, Ed is live at the Concordia Fieldhouse. Edward, I know I complain about Monday Night Football, but I'm willing to stay late for games like that. Terrific.
It was a great show tonight, Marvin. I tell you, we were just talking, our remote crew here. If we get a dandy tomorrow night, this will undoubtedly be our best year as far as quality of games. I mean, these kids have really played their hearts out here tonight at the Copper Fieldhouse and, of course, last week. And we got one more big show tomorrow night. We'll get to all of that in just a moment. But first, let's talk about the North Dakota State Class B basketball tournament, where Hillsboro advanced in the first game this afternoon over Des Lacs Burlington. In the first half, Brian Ambule is going to hit the three-pointer, and he pumped in 22 today, as it was 31-19, the Burros at halftime. In the second half, Hillsboro again, Chris Brecken scores inside, pumped in 21, and the Burros win it 66-38 over Des Lacs Burlington.
I think we were loose, and that's what I told the kids. We got to make sure that we relax and have some fun, because that's the purpose of it up here. And we got some big threes in that first half to get us a lead, and after that, things just kind of went our way.
Elsewhere today, it was Munich beating Watford City 61-43, snapping Watford City's 52-game winning streak. Tonight, Leeds Wolford by 2 over Elgin, and also Lemoore comes up 10 points short to Napoleon by a score of 69-59, the final there. Well, here at the Copper Fieldhouse, I don't know, maybe they should have charged on the way out as well, because these four ball clubs gave us a tremendous show here tonight. Pelican Rapids in overtime upset Breckenridge in the first game tonight. Rico Curry in the second half. 2 inside. He pumped in 19 tonight. Pelican Rapids, Brian Hovland at the buzzer at the end of regulation will tie the game at 62. Overtime! They go to overtime. In overtime, Reed Royston, the three-pointer, pumped in 22. 6 seconds remaining. Brian Corp, they take it to the wire. The dish to Kent Bauman. 69-67 Vikings. Breckenridge with a last chance. They're going to go for the tie. Darren Fick down the floor. Pelican Rapids hangs on for the win in overtime. 69-67 over Breckenridge.
Hung in there like we had to. I thought we controlled the tempo as good as we could. That is a fantastic team, and they've got some individuals out there that, you know, that you can't handle them. You try to control them, but you can't handle them. And I tell you what, I don't know what our kids got in the second half. I don't know what Reed got. I don't know what they got, but I tell you what, he really played a basketball game.
It's the position we wanted to be. We could get them. We figured if we got them in the last minute, we could take them, and we came through in the pressure situations, got the bucket.
Well, Rex Haugen will take his team to the Section 6A championship tomorrow night. And just a few moments ago, Minnewaska outlasted Staples 49-47. Second half highlights. A tremendous showing tonight by Ryan Shea in the second half for the Lakers. The rebound, right back to the iron. 2 of his 15. Puts up the Lakers by 4. Staples, David Joerger, what a player this kid is. For 3, he pumps in 17, Staples by 1. Minnewaska, Brian Roop goes inside. His coach said he was the key at halftime. A big bucket there, 48-47 Lakers. Staples with a last chance. They cover up David Joerger. They push it over to Blaine Joerger. It won't go. Minnewaska wins it tonight. 49-47 is the final. Greg Starnes, the head coach of the Lakers, watches his team celebrate on videotape. Coach, that's quite an accomplishment for your team to come in here for the first time in some time and be able to come away with a pressure-packed win like that.
Right. I felt Staples was the favorite. You know, people weren't thinking they're that good and things, but with Sheekwin and Joerger, the 2 guards, they've been here 3 years in a row. And it showed that first half especially. They played with tremendous confidence, and our kids were a little shook. You know, we don't really have many kids that have played in tournament ball. We have a lot of B-team kids up this year, so tremendous win. The kids could have folded easily and didn't, so we're just tickled.
Now, the last few possessions, were you thinking that David Joerger was going to be the one that was going to take the shot? Is that why you covered up heavily on him? Were you willing to give the freshman the 3?
No, we got lucky. I didn't even see him until he shot the ball. And Ryan got full. We thought David would shoot it, and it went to the freshman, and thank goodness it was long. So sometimes you need luck. We've lost a couple to Staples 10 years ago on last-second shots like that, so maybe it was our turn.
What about Pelican Rapids?
That's tomorrow. Hey, they're excellent. You know, we'll do fine. It'll be a great game tomorrow night.
I think it will be, too. Congratulations. I saw you yelling at your team over there, but...
They never listen anyways.
Well, they couldn't hear you. The crowd was going nuts. Coach, congratulations. I tell you, kid played really well, was Ryan Shea. Ryan, nice job, especially in that second half.
Thank you.
What do you think about this ball club, the way you guys have been able to come along this season and win these close ball games?
Well, I think the key has been that we've come together as a team just right at the right time. Right when districts came around is when we really pulled together as a team and started playing.
Was this team a little bit nervous going into tonight's game? You guys got off to a slow start, and then you had to regroup.
Yeah, we were a little nervous, but yeah, I think everybody was just happy to be here. So I don't know how nervous everybody was.
Well, now that you're happy to be here and you got all those jitters out, what about tomorrow night?
Well, tomorrow night we'll come out and play, and hopefully I'll hit some free throws, and we'll let the game take care of itself there.
All right, Ryan, good luck to you. Thank you very much for joining us. Ryan Such, who put it together tonight for the Lakers as they defeat Staples. 49-47 is the final score. Subsection 8AA action. The Moorhead Spuds on Saturday night will be playing Elk River in St. Cloud. Elk River a winner tonight, 54-42. Top-ranked Duke a winner tonight over Campbell in the opening round of the NCAA tournament. Duke's Bobby Hurley is going to come up with a feed to Thomas Hill, pumped in 2 of his 20. Duke's Christian Leitner, another big performance for Mike Krzyzewski's team. He pumps in the jumper, 2 of his 22. They easily take care of Campbell, 82-56. LSU and BYU. Shaquille O'Neal comes up with a big show. He gets the rebound and the bucket. 13 rebounds for O'Neal. LSU's O'Neal with a jam. Off the break, 26 points. LSU gets BYU 94-83. Let's go through the scores. Duke a winner. Iowa a winner over Texas. Seton Hall by 2 over LaSalle. Missouri advances. In the Southeast, Ohio State wins. Nebraska blown out by UConn. Also, North Carolina gets Miami of Ohio. Alabama a winner over Stanford in the Midwest. Georgia Tech by 5 over Houston in the second. USC leading Northeast Louisiana. Arkansas wins. Memphis State by 10 over Pepperdine. LSU wins over Brigham Young 94-83. In the second half, Indiana's blown out Eastern Illinois, and also Georgetown, a 15-point winner over South Florida. Florida State 10 better than Montana. Minnesota Duluth losing to Pfeiffer of North Carolina in the second round of the NAIA tournament. Tonight, right after Nightline, it's the Bison Basketball Show with head coach Amy Ruley. Back with more from the Carver Fieldhouse after this. Hi everybody, Ed Schultz here. Make sure you join us this week on The Great Outdoors. We're in northern Saskatchewan. And I'll tell you what, it's a show you'll want to see as we're going after trophy pike. Then we'll take you to the mountains of Idaho, where the majestic Rockies provide a backdrop for the challenge of big game hunting. It's a memorable sporting adventure on the next edition of The Great Outdoors.
The Great Outdoors with Ed Schultz, Saturday night at 6:30 on WDAY Channel 6 Sports.
Well, the Minnesota North Stars came up short tonight by a score of 4-1 to the Chicago Blackhawks. Chicago in the second period. Kurt Cherry beats John Casey to make it 2-0 Chicago. And then Lemieux for the Hawks with the tip in to make it 3-0. They go on to beat Chicago 4-1. St. Louis over Boston 4-1. Edmonton beat New Jersey 5-3. It was Pittsburgh over Quebec 6-3, and a couple of games still in progress. In the NBA, Milwaukee loses to New York. Chicago by 6 over Washington. A final in overtime. It was Charlotte winning. Seattle wins over Houston, and Denver loses to Utah by 15. Twins lose to Baltimore by a score of 8-5. I said Ryan Such. I meant to say Ryan Shea. Marvin, it has been a long night, and we are going to be back tomorrow night for just a great one between Minnewaska and Pelican Rapids, and we will see as the lights go on at 8 o'clock. We're looking forward to it.
So are we. Thank you, Edward. Nice job. We'll be right back.
Let's talk about Nelson Mobile Homes. A large part of our business is selling new and used homes. We help arrange financing and make your purchase as easy as possible. But we also move homes anywhere in the tri-state area. We're heavy on service. Keeping your home in good shape is important to us. And a large parts department on location backs up our service. New and used homes, moving facilities, service and parts. Nelson Mobile Homes in West Fargo. Committed to the mobile home industry for over 13 years. Look for us in the yellow pages.
Tonight's Daily 3 winning numbers in Minnesota are 6, 1, and 9. Again, the winning numbers in the Daily 3 are 6, 1, and 9. That's our news, weather, and sports. Nice to have you with us again tonight. ABC's Nightline is coming up next. Good night, everybody.
News Center 6 is a presentation of WDAY News. Stay tuned for Nightline.
He's been called South Africa's Gorbachev, a man whose leadership and push for reform became the turning point for a nation, and perhaps his own Waterloo. But F.W. de Klerk is different. He picks his gambles carefully. He's bringing massive changes, but he's got a mandate for the Herculean task before him, reshaping the social and political fiber of his country. Tonight, a conversation with the state president of South Africa, F.W. de Klerk.
This is ABC News Nightline. Reporting from Washington, Ted Koppel.
The surface comparisons are easy enough to draw. Gorbachev and de Klerk, a couple of balding political veterans who came up through the system, their respective party structures. Each man in his late 50s carrying himself with a sort of old-world dignity that is lightened may be a better word, by a twinkle, a certain sparkling charisma that permits the observer to conclude that each man is probably a pretty good guy if you could get to know him. It is not a comparison that F.W. de Klerk much appreciates, according to his aides. Gorbachev has been an exceedingly important figure, but ultimately he failed. He's out. Like Moses, perhaps appreciated for delivering his people from slavery, but destined not to see the promised land himself. De Klerk sees himself as a more than transitional figure. He wants to finish the job. As Don Clanstrup now reports, those who remember how far de Klerk has come marvel at the distance traveled, but do not underestimate the difficulty of the road ahead.
For those who remembered the old F.W. de Klerk, the message he delivered on February 2nd, 1990 came as a stunning surprise.
The prohibition of the African National Congress, the Pan-Africanist Congress, the South African Communist Party, and a number of subsidiary organizations is being rescinded.
With those words, President de Klerk transformed the political landscape of South Africa, set the country on a course that made the rest of the world sit up and take notice. He freed Nelson Mandela, released thousands of political prisoners, scrapped all major laws of apartheid, promised to share power with blacks. The question is, why? What made him do it? Was it a change of heart? A matter of doing what was morally right?
Mr. de Klerk didn't change because his morality changed. Rather, fortunately for himself, he discovered that good politics, for the first time, coincided with good morality.
For 20 years, F.W. de Klerk had been a good and obedient soldier, a loyal member of the party that embodied the principles of racial separation. Then he became president, and he watched as his country was treated like an international pariah. He saw something else, too. The anger of 30 million blacks, the futility of using military means to control black political aspirations.
They could clear the streets, as it were, they could put people in prison, but at tremendous social and economic cost. And I think that it was also becoming evident to many Afrikaners that South Africa was sliding back into the third world, that many of the economic achievements of the previous 30 years were being placed in jeopardy.
De Klerk was born into a deeply conservative Afrikaner family, was nurtured on politics by his father, who was a National Party senator.
For me, FW he was a born leader. He's a very sincere guy. He's a very honest man. He believes what he's doing, and he believes it's right.
Which explains his daring move 3 weeks ago. Stunned by his party's loss in a recent election and faced with growing opposition from whites, de Klerk called a snap referendum to test his support.
If he goes against me, I'll resign. The government will...
But de Klerk didn't have to resign. He won, overwhelmingly. Those who know him best say he is an intensely private person who is not authoritarian, does not lose his temper, and is a good listener. Becoming president, they say, had a profound effect.
He spoke to people who traveled, and he gradually began to realize that whereas he was fully aware of the fact that apartheid couldn't work, that the option of continuing with a failed policy was in fact far more dangerous than seeking to cross the bridge into uncharted waters.
This is not a man who is looking forward with tremendous pleasure and anticipation to the prospect of a black majoritarian government. This is still a man who considers his constituency, his main constituency, to be his own people.
Which may explain why he has never said 2 simple words, "I'm sorry," has never apologized for a system that inflicted pain on millions of people.
I think greatness arises out of not only what you do, but your willingness to be honest about what has been done in the past. So far, he's not been utterly honest about the immorality of apartheid in the past.
De Klerk has consistently referred to apartheid as something that was well-intentioned but didn't work. He did so again yesterday.
What started out with idealism in a quest for justice, because that was the starting point of the policy of separate development, could not attain justice for all South Africans, and therefore it had to be abandoned and replaced.
I think one can see all the ambivalences of a man who is still an Afrikaner nationalist, who still hasn't apologized for his past, who would still make excuses for the National Party, but who clearly now has to play a role in which his own past and the past of his party is a very large albatross.
As South Africa moves forward, the ultimate test of de Klerk's leadership could be the manner in which he leaves it, how he concedes power to those who represent the majority. This is Don Kladstrup for Nightline in Johannesburg.
Joining us now is the state president of South Africa, F.W. de Klerk. Mr. President, I'm going to start you on a very personal note, if I may. I'm told that when you first saw the results and saw the enormity of the vote as it went for you, you reacted rather emotionally. I guess what I'm asking you is the degree to which even you were surprised. I mean, your heart must have been in your mouth a little bit. It was a terrific gamble for you.
No, it wasn't a gamble. It was a calculated risk. All opinion polls, right up till the time that I announced the referendum, showed that I still commanded a majority of the white electorate, and therefore I didn't expect to lose, and I really never thought about losing. But yes, there was the risk of a narrow win. I always said that I was working for a good win and that I was really trying my best for a landslide win. And the fact that we got the landslide win, that really was a breakthrough. It was a triumph in a certain sense of the word. It made me very proud of the electorate who stood aside from their ordinary grievances. They stood aside from the fact that we've had a long drawn-out recession. And they actually applied their minds and voted for the sort of future they want. I'm very proud that they rose above grievances to vote according to their conscience.
Mr. President, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, I'd like to talk with you about the future, which is certainly a little brighter today than it was a couple of days ago, but still fraught with a great deal of danger. We'll continue our conversation with President de Klerk of South Africa in a moment.
This is ABC News Nightline, brought to you by LensCrafters.
These slip down one more time. I'm fed up with glasses that don't fit.
You don't have to put up with glasses that don't fit anymore. Because at LensCrafters, we have so many new ways to make glasses more comfortable.
LensCrafters glasses fit your snug points with features like new snug fit hinges that hug your head and won't lose their gentle hold. LensCrafters, for that cushion of comfort you've always wanted.
I never knew glasses could be this comfortable.
LensCrafters, better fit for greater comfort in about an hour.
I'm alive. Howard Weber.
Alive. Jessica Weber.
For a free list of cars with airbags, see your Allstate agent.
After 60 years, we're proud so many people feel nothing can top a sandwich better than the natural whole grain goodness, Roman meal bread. Maybe it's because we've had it right all along. Roman meal. It's that good.
At last, the warming sun breaks through amidst the gentle showers. This then is spring, and with it comes the Toyota Spring Drive Sales Event.
Your Toyota dealer is ready to make you a deal on a great Toyota truck. With huge factory-to-dealer incentives and option package savings on 4Runners, 4x2s, and 4x4s. Spring is here, and now's the time to see your Toyota dealer.
This will indeed be a joyous spring.
Welcome to Hornbacher's Express on South University, the newest kid in the family. Through Tuesday, a 16-count package of Ortega taco shells, $1.39. Campbell's chicken, beef, or turkey noodle soups in a 10.75-ounce can, 2 for 89 cents. And in a 12-count package, assorted Jell-O gelatin or pudding pops, $1.79. Check our circular for details on manufacturer's double value coupons.
Everything you need and more, Bacher.
Northport, Village West, Moorhead, and Express.
These 3 men are in prison for rape. They claim they're innocent. 2020 uncovered what the police didn't find, and it could set them free. Watch 2020 Friday.
A conversation with F.W. de Klerk now continues. Again from Washington, Ted Koppel.
And we are back once again with the South African State President, F.W. de Klerk. Mr. President, I must tell you quite frankly, I have been warned both directly and indirectly by folks around you that prior to the referendum, you were very sensitive about any analogies between you and Mikhail Gorbachev. Now that you have won your referendum, do you understand why so many people made that analogy? Do you think there's any validity to it, and are you at all alarmed by it?
Well, I wasn't sensitive ever, but I don't think that factually it is quite correct to make a direct analogy. I can see some analogies. Both of us had to deal with failed policies. Both of us had to get our supporters, our constituency, to follow our leadership into saying we must change this, we must make basically a 180-degree turn. So there are analogies. But I really think I have an easier task. I have a sound, inherently strong economy in South Africa, which has always been run on the basis of free enterprise. He didn't. I have in South Africa a tremendous amount of goodwill. I have a commitment from the most important leaders to work together through negotiation towards an accord. So in that sense of the word, I don't think I face exactly the same problems that he faced, and there are also important and fundamental dissimilarities.
Indeed, there always are. Every analogy is flawed, but let me pursue even this flawed one step further, if I may. There are in the Soviet Union to this day hundreds of thousands of former communist apparatchiks whose own present and future is threatened by the changes that have now taken place. Similarly, it could be said that in your country, too, the whites who have enjoyed power over the past 40 years in your country under the system that has existed can see that power, can see their privileged status being threatened by the changes that you are trying to make. Do you accept the analogy as far as that point? And if so, where do you think it's going to
go? I think that brings forward another important dissimilarity. We have been, although imperfect in as much as we didn't include all South Africans, but vis-a-vis white South Africans, we've been a full democracy for almost 100 years in South Africa. Therefore, democracy has decided. The people themselves have decided what should happen and how the future should be shaped. Those with the power at the moment in terms of our present imperfect constitution. And yes, some people are afraid. But I basically trust also the overwhelming majority of the people who voted no. They are also Democrats. They are not wild ones. They are not people who want to tear everything apart. And I intend to address reasonable concerns which might have motivated them to vote no in the negotiation process, so that they will also become supportive of a just system, just towards everybody, but a system which nonetheless offers them safeguards against being suppressed, against discrimination in reverse, against their property being taken away from them at the whim of any new government. I'm talking about effectively protecting the principle of private property ownership in a Bill of Rights for everybody, now, this generation and all future generations. I'm talking about writing into a Bill of Rights the right to contract freely, the right to be protected against willful or arbitrary government intervention in the personal and individual rights of all individuals. I'm not talking race, I'm not talking color. We have black millionaires too who are worried about their property rights. And we have colored millionaires who are worried.
But far fewer, Mr. President, I think you'll acknowledge. And I guess the point I'm trying to make is that clearly those who have are disproportionately white in South Africa. Those who do not have are disproportionately black.
No, in general that is true, but it is a comparison which is very, very fastly changing. A new millionaire in many spheres amongst the blacks are coming to the fore quite regularly. There is tremendous growth potential. The buying power already has shifted to the black population. I have made it absolutely clear during this referendum, I'm not looking for an underhanded way in which to continue privilege for anybody on the basis of race or color. I've been blatantly frank with the electorate on this issue. The type of thing that I'm saying you will hear more and more also from the mouth of even Mr. Nelson Mandela. In the past 3 months he made statements, for instance, that people should be reassured about their property rights, people should be reassured about their priorities such as education and the right to have a say in their children's education. He and his party or his movement is even reconsidering their economic policy because they are out of step with the rest of the world. Therefore, I have confidence in the negotiation process that the moderation which we need is already taking place on quite a number of issues. We have succeeded, and I'm not saying it to the detriment of anybody, I'm not sort of claiming a victory, but negotiation has succeeded in getting people from across the table, from very widely different points of view, to move nearer to each other through a process of give and take. And there's a commitment in CODESA, which is really very, very encouraging, a commitment to succeed. And we find that we are making headway. I'm confident, as a weathered politician, that we will succeed to negotiate a constitution which is fair and just to all South Africans, which can offer security to those who have much to lose, but simultaneously offer, on the basis of justice, full participation and equal opportunity to those who have been disadvantaged in the past. We are working for that balance.
Mr. President, on that note, let me take another break, and we will be back with State President F.W. de Klerk in just a moment.
Recently, DuPont announced that its energy unit Conoco would pioneer the use of new double-hold oil tankers in order to safeguard the environment. The response has been overwhelmingly positive. DuPont, better things for better living.
It may surprise you to learn who, over 30 years ago, was the first car maker to build cars with seat belts, to make safety glass standard, the first U.S. car maker to offer anti-lock brakes, and who today offers more models with dual airbags than any other manufacturer. That company is Ford Motor Company.
We're committed to making safety innovation an important part of quality.
Ford Motor Company. Quality is job one. It's working.
If you're one of those people who's fed up with winter, the 6 best days of spring are finally here. Dayton's anniversary sale, now through Sunday.
Wallwork Ford has over 500 new and used cars, trucks, and vans. And our goal is to set a record in March with low prices and payments like this. New 92 Tempo or Ranger XLT pickup loaded, just $79.95 or $133 a month for first-time buyers. Choose from 30 Tempos and Rangers for just $79.95 or $133 a month. You'll find financing as low as 2.9 APR for 48 months. Rebates to $2,000 at North Dakota's largest Ford dealer, Wallwork Ford, Main Avenue at I-29 in Fargo.
I know it. And you know, I like the way they arranged the kitchen and family room area. It's so open, and there's so much natural light that it seems
and look at this
bigger.
garage. Now we finally have enough room for both our cars and...
yeah, that's going to be so nice.
And maybe a boat?
Maybe. Well, the linen closet in the bath will make it so convenient.
Oh, I know it. It's huge.
And the skylight makes it seem even bigger.
Oh, that's going to be great. Hey, you know what? Let's go to Crane Johnson and finalize things on Saturday.
Well, honey, can we do it tomorrow?
Okay.
All right.
Stop at any Take-Two video location and see the Great Wall of Comedy for the best selection of the funniest videos of all time. Stop at any one of Take-Two Video's 3 locations.
For the first time, the Fatal Attraction finale the director wanted. Fatal Attraction, the original cut, on hard copy.
Friday afternoon at 5.
Their leaders called us lazy, past our peak. But what does the average Joe in Japan think about America? I went there, and you'd be surprised. Watch 2020 Friday.
A conversation with F.W. de Klerk continues. Here again from Washington, Ted Koppel.
And we are back once again with the State President of South Africa, F.W. de Klerk. Let me, if I may, Mr. President, ask you to focus one more time on the past. You will have seen in the piece that, that preceded our interview that someone made a reference to the way you have spoken about apartheid. And you have spoken about it, quite frankly, as a mistake, but never as something morally wrong. You have never offered, and I'm not suggesting that you as an individual need to offer a personal apology, but any kind of apology to the blacks of South Africa in your role as state president. Is that an appropriate thing to do you think?
Well, I don't think that the perception that you refer to is a totally correct perception. I draw a distinction, and I've done so publicly, between the basic and original purpose of the policy which we prefer to call separate development. It had as its purpose the establishment